this week's Sunday School overview. We'll be back in order now, so we'll be in Lesson 3, the Fall Short Report over the 12 spies. This comes from Numbers chapter 13, verses 1 and 2, and also verses chapter 13, 25 through chapter 14, 24. So there's quite a bit of reading this week, so let's go ahead and get into it. From Numbers chapter 13, verses 1 and 2. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Send men to spy out the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the people of Israel. From each tribe of their fathers you shall send a man, every one a chief among them." And then from 13:25 through 14:24. At the end of the 40 days they returned from spying out the land. And they came to Moses and Aaron and to all the congregation of the people of Israel in the wilderness of Paran at Kadesh. They brought back word to them and to all the congregation, and showed them the fruit of the land. And they told them, "We came to the land to which you sent us. It flows with milk and honey, and this is its fruit. However, the people who dwelled in the land are strong, and the cities are fortified and very large. And besides, we saw the descendants of Anak there. The Amalekites dwell in the land of the Negev. The Hittites, the Jebusites, and the Amorites dwell in the hill country, and the Canaanites dwell by the sea, along the Jordan." But Caleb quieted the people before Moses and said, "Let us go up at once and occupy it, for we are well able to overcome it." Then the men who had gone up with him said, "We are not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we are." So they brought to the people of Israel a bad report of the land that they had spied out, saying, "The land through which we have gone to spy it out is a land that devours its inhabitants, and all the people that we saw in it are of great height. And there we saw the Nephilim, the sons of Anak, who come from the Nephilim. And we seemed to ourselves like grasshoppers, and so we seemed to them." Then all the congregation raised a loud cry, and the people wept at night. And the people of Israel grumbled against Moses and Aaron. The whole congregation said to them, "Would that we had died in the land of Egypt, or that we would have died in the wilderness. Why is the Lord bringing us into this land to fall by the sword? Our wives and our little ones will become a prey. Would it not be better for us to go back to Egypt?" And they said to one another, "Let us choose a leader and go back to Egypt." Then Moses and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the people of Israel. And Joshua the son of Nun, and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, who were among those who had spied out the land, tore their clothes, and said to all the congregation of the people of Israel, "The land which we passed through to spy it out is an exceedingly good land. If the Lord delights in us, he will bring us into the land and give it to us, a land that flows with milk and honey. Only do not rebel against the Lord, and do not fear the people of the land, for they are bread for us. Their protection is removed from them, and the Lord is with us. Do not fear them." Then all the congregation said to stone them with stones. But the glory of the Lord appeared at the tent of the meeting to all the people of Israel. And the Lord said to Moses, "How long will this people despise me, and how long will they not believe in me, in spite of all the signs that I have done among them? I will strike them with the pestilence and disinherit them, and I will make you a nation greater and mightier than they." But Moses said to the Lord, "Then the Egyptians will hear of it, for you brought us up this people in your might from among them, and they will tell the inhabitants of this land, they have heard that you, O Lord, are in the midst of this people. For you, O Lord, are seen face to face, and your cloud stands over them, and you go before them in a pillar of cloud by day and in a pillar of fire by night. Now if you kill this people as one man, then the nations who have heard your fame will say, 'It is because the Lord was not able to bring his people into the land that he swore to give them that he has killed them in the wilderness.' And now, please, let the power of the Lord be great as you have promised, saying, 'The Lord is slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love, forgiving iniquity and transgressions, but he will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers to the children to the third and fourth generation. Please pardon the iniquity of this people, according to the greatness of your steadfast love, just as you have forgiven this people from Egypt until now.' Then the Lord said, 'I have pardoned according to your word, but truly as I live, and as all the earth shall be filled with the glory of the Lord, none of the men who have seen my glory and my signs that I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and yet have put me to the test these 10 times, and have not obeyed my voice, shall see the land that I swore to give to their fathers. And none of those who despise me shall see it. But my servant Caleb because he has a different spirit and has followed me fully. I will bring into the land into which he went, and his descendants shall possess it. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. So we hear about the incident in which the 12 spies were sent to scout the land of Canaan, at this promised land, fearing the struggle and the hard work that it would take to overcome, and not having faith in God. They did not want it, and they feared. They turned against God, and that's the law aspect of this lesson. That in fear we grumble and we fail to trust God's promises. But the gospel is that God always keeps his promises. He sent his Son to save us from our sins through his sacrifice on the cross. And that is the Bible truth of this lesson. God is worthy of our trust. And as far as a Bible verse goes for this lesson, Psalm 25:2, "Oh my God, in you I trust." Now also, if you look here up on the screen, you'll be able to see the catechism connection here is the 8th commandment. You shall not give false testimony against your neighbor. What does this mean? We should fear and love God so that we do not tell lies about our neighbor, betray him, slander him, or hurt his reputation, but defend him, speak well of him, and explain everything in the kindest way. And so we see that the falsehoods and the lies made up by the people that were afraid to slander Caleb and Joshua as well, that they were that this ruins relationships, it ruins friendships, and causes animosity and strife between family members. And so we are to protect one another in our reputations. Now, when we look at this lesson, we see that Moses chooses one man from each of the 12 tribes and sends them to spy on the land God has promised. The spies report a land of great plenty, but occupied by mighty and fearsome people. And despite Caleb and Joshua's pleas to seize the land promised to them, the people rebel. And Moses pleads for mercy, and God promises to care for his people in that plea. And at the same time, he condemns the Israelites for 40 years of wandering in the wilderness. Of all the adults, only Joshua and Caleb will live to enter the promised land because of the mistrust and rebellion that the people had against God during those times. Now, as far as we see our calling and identity, God guides us to trust in him and his plan for our lives. And so we're made new through the blood of Christ and made his child by our baptism. And so for the younger kids, they need to know that they can trust God and understand that God he is ultimately trustworthy in everything. And they never have to doubt God's love for them. The older kids understand this, and they can give examples to demonstrate why God is worthy of their trust, and can explain using instances from the narrative, from this account from Numbers, why God is worthy of trust. And so, well, I hope this little rundown helps you as you study, prepare, meditate for this lesson. I know it's a busy time of the year. Christmas, by the time we meet again, Christmas will have come and gone for this year. But we will be preparing for a new year of blessings by our God. And so thank you for all that you do. Thank you for the time and the effort you put into each of these lessons. And I look forward to seeing you again on Sunday. Have a blessed day.